Welcome to the Blaize and Shark interview. My name is Blaize, and today we got...
I'm Bryan Ross.
Yes, returning Bryan Ross. How you been, man? Good to see you.
Oh, man. Everything's good, man. I've been really good. It's been hot, though.
Yes, it's hot. It's middle of July. Motherfucker comes in here and sweats.
Yes.
I mean, I had to make sure the vents are open just for you. I angled it right at you, just so that way you got a little cool down. You know what I mean?
It's like I'm so cool, I gotta regulate my body temperature with the sweatsuit.
Yes. And thank you for being the first one for the new setup. So thank you.
Yes.
Yeah. So we come back, and I want to talk about like you touring everywhere. I've seen you in New York. I've seen you, especially at the Comedy Store. Because I remember us talking about the first time you went up to the Comedy Store, how bad you did, and now you're selling out shows out there too.
Yes.
You're on sold out shows. How's it like being on a sold out show at the Comedy Store?
It's great. I mean, there you can't sugarcoat it. It's great, and there's so many good comics that are on all of the lineups that I get to be blessed to be a part of. And just to have the audience, they're just so electric. Mm-hmm. They're just ready to hear some good jokes. And, we get some participation. And, when you come off that stage at the end of the night, and people are like, oh, you're great, or you're my favorite comic, or, that was a different perspective. It's just, you're in the right place and you're doing it the right way. So I'm enjoying it.
That's true. What are some of the great, obviously you can't say everything, but what are some great stories that you have from working there that are like some great comics or any great connections that's happened, like being more of a regular there?
Great connections. Well, just basically when you, because I never know what comics are in the lineup.
Yeah.
And there was this one particular comic that was on the lineup after I did my set and everything was over. He approached me. He's like, hey, he introduced himself, and he's like, listen, do you ever do Portland? I'm like, okay. I don't do Portland, but I would do Portland. Yeah. He was like, yeah, he said, I got some things cooking up in Portland. He said, but when I get it together, he said, I want you to come out and I want you to do a couple of weekends. And I'm like, wow. So nice. It actually does work this way, right?
Yeah,
Somebody sees you and like you, give you an opportunity, but you got to be ready for that opportunity.
That's true. I mean, like we were talking about last time, it's like, about working our way from the bottom and having a crawl or on our belly.
On our belly, yes.
I remember. So it was like, all that stuff is like, what's the difference between like going to New York, Portland, and all these other cities? Like, have you had to like tailor your comedy to fit those areas, or just you feel like you can just travel and go now?
No, you have to tailor. Mm-hmm. I was watching somewhere. There was a comic who he was talking about. He likes to come a day or two beforehand, so he can just walk around, talk to some of the locals, get an idea of what their feel is for their own city, some of their likes and dislikes, and then tailor that once you go up on stage. Because what's funny in Los Angeles won't be funny in New York, won't be funny in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
So I did learn that the hard way. I did a show in Pennsylvania and had all my Los Angeles material, and they were like, "What? Like, I don't what?"
They just didn't relate to it.
They just that kind of has okay, that's funny, but like it's not funny for us. So I was like, okay, so I just have to be careful of that for next time.
Yeah, so it took you a while. So what is the difference? Like, what are like some writing tricks that you've come up with to try, or like what are some jokes that you just steer away from doing, like in Pennsylvania or Ohio or
right? Yeah,
Wisconsin.
Wherever. I don't know if I can say there's anything I would steer away from, because I don't know those cities too well. So it is trial and error. It's like, well, okay, this seems like it'd be funny to me, so it's got to be funny to someone else. Let's try it out. Because comedy is trial and error. It's like you get the best when you're at your worst. So,
like you'll say a joke and then someone will say a tagline like, "Damn, that's a good tagline." Yeah, you take that one.
Right, or somebody will be like, "I can't believe he said that," and I'm like, "Well, I guess not." Well, why? Right now you have to dissect it. Now you have to do a little bit of research. Or sometimes after, because there's times where I've came off the stage and start talking to people, and they're like, they'll just start, critiquing you, like, when you said that one thing, I wasn't feeling it, but had you said this, I'm like, interesting. Yeah. Right? You never want to be like, oh, that's a great note, because 10 years from now you'll have your special and somebody will be like, I wrote that joke. He steals jokes.
Yeah. So, well, no, just say, oh, thanks for the comment or something like that.
Yeah. I just say, oh, okay. I just say, oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I say, okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks. Cool. Whatever. It's just like, because it is like prevalent. Some people's like, oh, jokes, especially now. The big one is like, was it Brandon Schaub or whatever? Brandon Schaub.
Yes.
So like, do you work with him, or do you do anything? No stories.
I don't know.
Yeah. No. Everyone wants to get that one clickbait, right?
None. I don't know. I'm still, I'm so far away from.
All the famous people.
He's like, I don't even know. I could just be one walk around the corner away, from, all of the more famous comics.
I wasn't performing there, but I was just there to support the roast battle. A few of my friends were on it, so I went to go support when I was in the ballet room. And right as the show ended, I was right next to the door, so I went out because I had to pee. I had like 3 or 4 drinks, so I was like, I gotta pee. So I get down, and as soon as I get down at the bottom of the stairs from the back of the ballet room, I see Brandon Lee and then Santanos or whatever, the redhead one that he's friends with.
Yes, but I don't remember his name.
Something Santana or Santanos, something like that.
I'd have to Google it.
I'm horrible at it, but I saw both of them.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh. And I was like, I didn't want to say anything. I was like, oh, hi, good to see you. And then I just went to the restroom. It's like, you can see so many great people just hanging out. And they're just there going to take pictures. Yeah. And that's just how it is. So last time you were here, we were talking about, like, your brand, the Chuckle brand.
Yes.
So you were talking about trying to find like sketches, like we were just talking with Charlie right now. It's about talking about sketches. How's that luck been going with the sketches?
So what I'm starting right now, I'm starting a campaign. It's called the Chuckle Challenge. So I'm just reaching out to all my friends, creatives that they're really well versed in this one thing that they're good at, or it could be a few things. So then I want to challenge myself to be able to do that thing. Okay. That they do well. So, for example, I have a couple of friends that they're just amazing tap dancers. Okay. I don't tap dance. So I reached out. I'm like, hey, I'm doing my Chuckle Challenge. I want to come out. I want you to show me a little something, and I'm going to try and do it. Maybe I'll fall on my face. Maybe I won't. Yeah. But, that's my challenge, and I want to have a good time, all smiles while doing it. So.
Yeah. That sounds very fun. Yeah. Do you have any others lined up or anything like that?
Yes. So I have a friend. She's an amazing singer. And I reached out to her and I was like, you know what? Like, could you I want to do a Chuckle Challenge where I want to be a backup singer. Like, what's that like? Could you show me how to be a backup singer? Can I do it? I don't know, but it'll be fun. And actually, tomorrow, a friend of mine. He's an amazing choreography. He's toured the world with Britney Spears, with Aaron Carter, rest in peace, Aaron Carter, and a couple of other greats. But he's going to do a step, and I'm going to try to do it, and let's see what happens there, too. So
that sounds cool. Yeah. That's really. Is that going to be on the on YouTube? Or is it gonna be
it's going to be YouTube, on my streaming. So YouTube, on my Instagram, probably do it on the Snap, and what's the other one?
TikTok?
TikTok, yes.
Yeah, the one, the Chinese government one.
Yeah, TT.
Yeah. Uncle Titi.
Yes.
Yeah. That's cool. So, but you haven't found anything else for the sketches, though? You've been looking for the artists to put like graffiti art and that's...
Yeah, so I had a couple. We're still trying to work some things out because believe it or not, these artists, they're so busy. Huh. And I'm like, hey, can we get together? He's like, I had a friend, she does murals all over the world. Nice. And she'll call me, be like, hey, I'm in town for 72 hours. Then I got to get back on a flight. And I'm like, when are we ever going to get together? So, yeah, that's been tough. I've got some yeses, but they're just not available yet.
Yeah, well, couldn't you guys do a Skype call or sending concept art over the phone or over even just the internet, emails?
Artists don't do Skype calls.
Calls?
They just show up, or if you text them, if you get lucky, you get a text back within 5 days. But, everybody's busy, and I respect that because their process is like the art, not returning calls. So
yeah, I get that because that's how I got the little new logo, the little Blaize logo.
Yeah, that's fresh.
Yeah, we got that. So I got that. Jessica Arts on Instagram. Mm-hmm. She made the art, so I tagged her and everything. So that's gonna be our new logo. So I'm trying, as you can, I'm trying to put that on the shirt. Yeah, I'm trying to put that in a little pocket, little chest pocket. Yeah, you gotta always got to try and find new ways. Just
figure out how to brand. Yeah,
get it out branding. There. You can put it on towels. I've been trying to think about towels because you can give out towels $10, $5. People buy towels, especially if it's hot right now. Yeah. Because I have a show coming up in October in Lancaster, and that shit's gonna be fucking hot. And so it's if If I buy like 15 towels, 20 towels,
Oh, you got to do pocket squares.
Pocket squares.
Yeah, like the little kerchiefs, the handkerchiefs they put in there.
Yeah.
People always want to, go to the churches, right? Pass them out, and they always want to mock their brow, the Blaize shark. Yeah,
the pastor.
Exactly.
You see my shark on the pastor?
He's just right there on his forehead. That's
actually great. Just make it like an imprint.
Yeah.
What's this GoFundMe on your shirt?
Oh, so yeah, check this. So I have a button here. So I actually am going to do stand-up comedy at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival.
Yes.
And that's in Scotland,
Oh,
United
nice.
Kingdom. So I have this button here because I have a GoFundMe. So so my campaign here is how do I not remember my campaign? Duh! It is My Quest to the Fest. That's what it's called. So My Quest to the Fest. I'm trying to get to the festival. So I'm looking for any and all donations. $10, $15, $25, $1,000.
Yeah,
that'd be nice.
Yeah. That'll help out.
Yeah, a little bit, right? So, but I also have a couple of incentives, right? Mm-hmm. So, our gifts, if you will, for donating. So, we have $100 package, $500 package, $1,000 package, and then if you just want to fund it all, just in one shot, then I wouldn't be mad at that. So yeah, I'm going on August this year. So August 15th, I'll be flying out.
Nice.
Then I'll have a day to kind of peruse and get a feel of the fest out there, and then I have a show on the 17th.
Nice.
And then from there's a couple of more shows that are going to pop up while I'm there.
Nice.
So I'm just really trying to take advantage of this.
How long are you going to be out there?
I'll be out there for a week.
A week? That's a good amount of time.
Yes.
That's a good amount of time. But it's going to take like half a day to get out there.
Right, exactly.
So it's going to have a day there, half a day back. So it's pretty nice, but you need that time to like just even recover.
Right.
So how did you get this UK festival?
So doing a show, and there was a comic from the UK came out, was on one of the shows, and I started talking to him, and he said, "Oh, I liked your set." And I'm like, "Yeah, your set was good too." And he was like, "Yeah, I'm from the UK." I was like, "Oh, I would love to come to the UK." He's like, "You know what?" He said, "If you're ever out there, look me up." And I'm like, "Oh, sure." Then the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, it's every year. It's the biggest arts festival for artists and dancers and people who want to do music, theater, all of that. It's the biggest. It's actually the third biggest festival. First we have the Olympics is like the biggest, and then
Could you call that a festival?
Yeah, it kind of is. It's just they call it a festival because we're coming together to experience this art, which is sports? Athletics, right?
Okay.
Right.
Okay. It's a very loose term, but
yeah,
all right, festival first. Okay. Second one,
and then the second one, I believe it's the Kumite.
Kumite.
Yeah.
What is that?
Oh, that
I don't remember that.
That's the secret martial arts.
See,
fight to the death. I'm joking. That's that. Yeah, no.
Like Street Fighter.
Yeah, exactly. Right. No, Mortal Kombat.
I was thinking of something like Brazil or some shit. I was like, it's not Carnival.
Yeah,
I was like,
No, I'm joking. I don't remember what the second one is, but number 3 would be the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. So I'm excited to be there. And
have you done a festival or a show like this on this schedule?
Actually, I just did the Hollywood Fringe Festival about a month ago. The show was called TV Land. So it was an immersive show, a nostalgic 80s and 90s immersive show. So we had 3 different sketches. Yeah. And the writer, she was amazing. Nina Childs. She's a great writer.
I remember her. I've heard her name. I don't remember where I've heard her name, but the name's super familiar right now.
Yeah, she's done shows for the festival before. Yeah. She has some films that are out right now. So, yeah, you can definitely look her up. Nina Childs.
Yeah.
I forget, what is it? I think it's Nina Childs. NCP. Yep, Nina Childs Productions. Yeah, okay, so you just Google her up and you'll see some of the stuff that she's done. So, yeah, she's very talented.
Okay, so what was it like doing the Hollywood Festival?
Oh, it was crazy. It was insane because one, it's an immersive show. So I don't know if you've ever been a part of an immersive show.
No,
but we warn you, like, hey, it's an immersive show. If we call you to action, do it,
act.
Right? Yeah. So come out, or and then we did some of the show in the audience. We're picking out audiences to, like, if there was a conflict on stage, we we would go to an audience member to ask their help or their advice, about the situation that's going on stage. And they're like, and there were a few that were like so into it.
Yeah.
So it just made it really fun.
Okay. I have been to one immersive show. Now that you explain to me, I've been to one. I've been to It was Drunken Shakespeare.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was great. It was in New York. It was off Broadway.
Mm-hmm.
It was like kind of like in this little like it wasn't even in a Broadway show like on stage. It was on a kind of like a little restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like in a restaurant. We're all eating on tables and there's like a little spot right there.
That's neat.
Yeah, and so they had like the king and the queen, and then so the whole thing is the actors are drinking throughout the whole show. So they have the main storyteller, the narrator, and that person takes 5 shots to start the show.
Wow.
Yeah, 5.
Is it dark liquor or is it like
It's tequila.
Tequila? Okay. All right.
That was tequila, but then there's a I forget what part of, but they did Beowulf. They did
Okay.
Beowulf, and so they did one scene about like drinking the milk or something like that. I don't remember what scene. I'm not the biggest Shakespearean, but throughout the whole show they pause it and then they like explain the scene and like they try and make it and they tell jokes and this and that, and so she made him drink the guy who was playing Beowulf. She made him drink milk with IPA, and then she had to chug it. And I was like, oh. But everyone was like, chug.
Yeah.
You took it like a champ. You know what I mean?
Oh, man.
But that's the whole thing of the show. And so it was great. I loved it. If you ever get off to New York and you see it's off Broadway, but it's a great off Broadway. And you have to, like, I was into it. Oh, I'm always into shit like that.
Yeah, I have a friend that I think they have a little small something. Well, it's not, drunken Shakespeare, but I think they just call it drunk theater.
Okay.
And they have pieces that they do. And he's been telling me, hey, you need to get to a show. And I'm like, hey, yeah, next one.
Always.
Yeah.
I do feel bad because I did want to see this one show, Olivia Shing, Party School. Plug out Olivia. But it was I wanted to go, but the thing is, every day that I could go, it was like either at 2 p.m. in the afternoon. I'm like, or it was 10 a.m. And it was like for children's, and I was like, I don't want to be at the children's show. You're just a single guy,
right?
You're just sitting there and just. No, man, it's a bad
brown
look.
paper bag in it, and all the kids got their juice boxes. Like, what?
Yeah.
Right.
It's water, kid.
Right.
It's water. Now I'd go in there with my hydro flash. It's like the whole bottle.
Wow, that's awesome.
10 a.m. So I couldn't even do that. That's some shit I could do in my early 20s. Now I'm 30s. I'm too old for that shit.
Can't do it.
When's the last time you drank? Like, what's the last earliest time you drank? Like,
oh, see, here's a fun fact. I don't drink.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard not to.
It's hard not to.
Did you just never drink? Or
just never. It just
never
never
one of
did.
things?
Yeah.
I feel that because I was never into drinking coffee. I don't even drink caffeine, energy drinks, nothing. It's just like go. And it's funny because I would tell my teachers that, and they're like, "Wow, I'm really never giving you caffeine." Because I was a bounce off the wall kind of kid. You know what I mean? I was always, yelling. I don't know. I have Asperger's, so it's kind of one of those things. It's just I was always just energetic,
always up and ready to go.
Yeah. So it was one of those things. So I've never I'm a night guy. I'm an insomniac. I just if I need to wake up at 6 a.m., I'm up.
You can do it.
You know what I mean? Like I'm not one of those people's like, oh, how could you get up at 6? I'm like, I gotta get up at 6. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just you gotta do it.
You gotta do it.
Yeah, but do you feel like you're more of like these people like?
Like I'm good with getting up. I don't like the crash of coffee. So like, not a fan of coffee. I'll do tea. And that's about it. I mean, I like my juices. I like my lemonades.
Lemonade. You know what? The apple juice. Apple juice
is good.
When I was in high school and I would do sports, every time after practice, when they would have you do like 10, 15 minutes conditioning, you're just running your ass off. All I was thinking about, that soft crack apple juice. When you like twist them out.
Yeah.
And you see the code.
Oh yeah.
Little code. You just hits.
And you just feel it.
It just my whole body from my stomach out, just like.
Yeah.
It's a good just like.
Yeah, it's just good. Oh my God, I have this crazy. So, a friend of mine, my best friend. This is my best friend. Okay, so I have the apple juice because back when you were in high school or even junior high, all throughout K through 12, you get the little box apple juices.
Yeah.
And it's enough for one person. So my friend, he's like, Arlen, I'm calling you out, my friend Arlen Escarpeta. Anyway, I love you.
Arlen.
I love you, man. But he's like, I'm about to crack mine open. He's like, Brian, let me get a sip of your apple juice. And I'm like, all right, it's my bro, no problem. So he gets it, and I can see it all happening in slow motion, because then he does his lips like this, like he's just ready to accept it, right? And then he just take it all to the head, and then he had the nerve to go, oh, my bad, man, I drank all your apple juice. Oh,
what do you mean, my bad?
My bad. Like, it is like, you did me dirty. Wow.
Can't even do you like that.
Yeah, he did me. But it was like, I guess you got to chalk it up to the game, because when you have a best friend, I'm sure there's something I did.
Bullshit. Yeah, there's always a little bullshit shit.
Right, there's always something. What about that last time you did that? And I'm like, are you still tripping about that? You still mad? Yeah, right. Come on, man. It's all love.
I remember the thing I loved about especially in elementary, middle school, even up to high school, I'd always trade. There's always trade.
Trade.
What was your big ticket item when you would trade food?
Oh man, that I wanted or that I was willing to give away?
What would you trade? What was your trading option? What would you trade?
Oh man, so I used to bring these. My mom used to make every now and then. It was like this coffee cake. It was. Oh man, if you know, like it's so good, and we would individually wrap them, so I could bring 4 or 5 pieces to school, and people knew, or I let them know, hey, mom's making coffee cake.
You better come up with a good.
Yeah, exactly. You better have that good, because I got it right here. I'm with the big pocket, like, what you got, what you need. I got them right. Giving them little samples. First one's free. Right.
You want to sniff?
Yeah, exactly. But
the rapper.
Exactly. Come on, man. No touching. Right. But yeah, so that was my big item to want to trade, because I knew I could get whatever I wanted if I brought that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think one of the big things we used to have is the school started selling Pizza Hut personal pan pizzas.
Yeah.
So and I always, because they were $6 or $7, it was insane, and I didn't have that much money like that. So I knew I bring my coffee cake, they would just give me their whole pizza for that little coffee cake.
Nice.
Yeah. So that was
suckers.
Exactly.
I'll be honest. My big ticket was actually surprising. It was cucumbers, but it was salt and lemon. And then put some tapatio now.
Yeah.
So I'll bring. I'll pre-cut all the cucumbers. Mm-hmm. I put the lemon in the little bag, and I had the salt with me. A little salt bag, and I had the tapatio. I just come in and just start making it. It's like, what you got, man? What you got? And that was because you hear that.
Yeah.
It was like, what you need? What you got?
They hear the sound. Like Pavlov's dog.
That was my thing. I love that. But when I got to high school, do you remember? I used to always eat the spicy chicken sandwiches. That's all I would eat. It was
spicy chicken sandwiches from where though? Or at
school? At the school. So they had it was always wrapped in aluminum foil.
Yes.
Yeah,
those were good.
They were pretty bad. They were pretty bad. They were bad, man. They were $5 or something like that. They were cheap enough. Right. They're cheap. They're $3. They're $3, $3 something. Yeah. They're really no. They might have been $250.
I was sorry,
$250. They're $250. Yeah. Now I'm thinking about it, it's $250. And then if you got on the special program, it's a quarter.
Yeah. The special program. You mean for us broke boys, huh?
Yeah. I didn't want to say nothing. If you on the special program, it's a quarter.
Yeah.
I didn't. My aunt put me on the special program. I didn't know she put me on, and it was like, oh, you're on the special program. I was like, huh? And they're like, yeah, you just got to pay a quarter. And I was like, okay.
Right. Sure.
I was like, I pocket all that money.
Yeah.
I made so much money. I'd ask for $20 every week for the whole week. You know what I mean? And Monday $20 lasts the whole week. That's all you get every Monday. $5 a day. That's all you got. And with that shit, man, at the end of the week, I had $450.
Just blew all that cash and just run it, yeah.
Fuck, man. I used to spend it on video games. I never really spent it on clothes. I was never really a clothes guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wasn't like that either.
Even now, half my clothes my mama bought.
My mama got my clothes. Can't wait for Christmas and birthdays, huh? Yeah, mama.
I get underwear this year. Shit, I had to throw away 4 pairs this week. You know the struggle.
Yep. Socks, man. That's my thing. I love a good pair of socks, man.
Yeah.
Oh, you buy me socks, man, you for life.
Yeah, one of my friends, he's a sock guy. I mean, he always wears the funky long socks. and we had a conversation. It was about pickles. I hate pickles. You know what I mean?
Wait.
I hate.
You
pickles.
hate pickles, but you like cucumbers.
Yes, because I don't. Because pickles are cucumbers soaked in evil.
Okay, so let's not say we hate the pickles. We hate the vinegar, right?
I'm not a vinegar guy. I don't like pickles. I just don't like
Right.
pickle things. Is not my jam.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so we were talking about. I don't remember what we were talking about. And Christmas is coming up, and I was like, I gotta get my boy a gift.
Uh-huh.
And so we were at the Grove,
Mm-hmm.
and at the Grove there's this little like pickle stand, and I was like, I remember we had a conversation about pickles, but I don't remember what the conversation was about.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna get him these pairs. They're nice, like leather, like silky socks and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really nice socks. And so I got them for him, and I gave him the bag, and he opened it, and he was like, they're pickles. I was like, yeah, I remember us having a conversation about it. I don't remember what, but it was a conversation. He was like, we had a conversation about how we both hate pickles.
Oh, snap. Dang.
But it was good. I remember something about it.
Right. You know, they're giving you for the effort, bro. The effort, at least.
Yeah, I was like, okay, well, they're nice socks.
Yeah, right.
At least they're nice socks. She's like, fair enough.
Yeah, right. Right.
But that's how it be.
Halfway
That's how it be. That's the mark of true friendship. Is we do bullshit like that.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just fun.
For sure.
But yeah, I just love all that other bullshit. So we want to talk about the ambassadors of the band. So how has that been going along with the ambassadors?
So the ambassadors, I've taken put that halt on that for just a little bit because comedy started moving forward for me, and then me doing like skits, and then also I started to do a couple of short films. Like acting was coming up for me, so I was like, well, let me not, because before with the ambassadors, I was hitting it hard. Like I was on Instagram every day, a few hours a day, just looking through pages like, oh, this artist could be a potential good ambassador. Let me hit them up. Let me talk to them about what I want. Like it really is a job. Like really trying to get these people together and get them to take a picture in the shirt or do a video, and like it's a job all in itself. So now I'm just kind of switching the focus. Now I will be my own ambassador, right, with the Chuckle Challenges, and going out and making sure I take pictures of my gear at all of these other like events. Open mics and events. So that's just how I'm doing it now. Because of course, when people start seeing it, oh, that's kind of cool, then maybe they'll reach out to me. Which actually, a woman reached out to me not too long ago, like, hey, like I really like the shirts. You got some cool colors. Like, how can I, be? She didn't say ambassador, but I think she said, how can I be a part of it? Okay. And I reached out to her. I was like, oh, I'll get back to you in a couple of weeks because I'm in the middle of trying to, So.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Like, I always thought that would be interesting because I know like there's a lot of people who are brand ambassadors. I remember even in college, I had a friend of mine. He was a Red Bull ambassador. So like, like they were like, you have to post like X amount of like pictures, X amount of videos, but it just can't be you doing nothing. Right. You have to be like. You had to be like a college thing. You got to be like at the beach. You had to be, doing something. Right. You got to be surfing. You got to be doing something. So with the ambassadors, I remember us talking about like having them to do something and like write the essay and what makes them chuckle. Right. And what were some good essays that you got out, or like some reports? What are some things that stick out?
What did I tell them? I said a little mini bio. That's what I told them. Right, a mini bio. What makes you chuckle? I got one. There was I think I got two really good ones. There was this young lady. She played the harp. Okay. So she was really good. And that's what caught my eye. I was like, I never see anybody like playing a harp. And I was like, that'd be great. Her wearing a shirt and playing the harp. So she plays the harp. But then I found out she's studying to be a doctor. And I'm like, whoa. Okay, that came out of left field. Yeah. So she talked a little bit about that and her process of getting accepted into a school and then working through that. And I'm like, all right, that's nice. So I'm still getting that together. Yeah. And then there was another gentleman who, he's a skateboarder. He's 35 years old, still skateboarding. Yeah. Every weekend he goes out.
His parents like, get a real job.
Right. And I'm like, are you really still hopping fences to elementary schools to go, skateboarding? Like, yeah, bro, like, for sure. Like, that's what I do. So, but, he owns a skate shop. along with I think his brother. They own a skate shop together, and that's what they do. So he's really making his passion his passion. Owns a skate shop, and then he does artwork for his boards, his own artwork, and then he still goes and he skateboards.
Yeah.
So
that's cool. Well, you got to do something. You got to supplement your passion with your passion.
Yeah. Like he really doubled down, and I'm like, man, if I could do that, like that'd be great. But
I mean, you are doing that.
I'm like, it's kind of essentially what that is, right? It's like chuckle, and I'm out there making people chuckle, and I'm chuckling in the process while doing things. So now we just got to flip that into make the dollars,
money.
make sense.
Money.
Yeah. Make
dollars. We're trying to make sense to dollars.
Exactly, right? He's like, what do you say? I like the money that jingles, but I appreciate the money that folds.
Oh,
so.
Yeah. I get that. No, but like, it's hard. It's hard, like, especially, when you have kids and you got a wife.
Yeah.
Other things, like, how is it like being a father and trying to like pursue your dream and your passions?
It's hard. So first off, it's really, really hard. But my daughter just graduated from high school.
Congratulations!
So yeah, she got it. She made it happen.
She going to college, or
she is going to college. So yeah, we both like, all right, let's get you to the next level. She's super excited about it.
Good for her.
So with that, it's gonna get easier now because she's driving now.
She's out your way.
Yeah, she's out my, like, she's gonna always need me because she tells me this all the time. I'm gonna always need you, Dad. Like, I'm not just gonna be an adult and just like not need you. And I'm like, okay, I know, but it'll be a little bit, probably maybe halfway more easier than it was before when she was in high school and now college, and then she'll have her own things she's going to, mixers and maybe they'll study abroad programs, things like that, and then have her friends and internships and jobs. So now she's really like I'm gonna have to call her and like, hey, what you doing? Yeah.
Well, I try and have a good relationship with my mom. Like I always I try once a month to have a brunch with my mother every Sunday.
Oh, that's nice.
You have to, because like they're your parents. They raised you, and I love my mom.
Yeah.
I say, Mom, as a kid, my mom was my best friend. Partly because when I was a kid, she would make me go with her to the mall, so then that way she can use the diamond lane.
Wow.
She'll sit me right in front, so then that way the car pulls over. It's like carpooling, bitch.
Yeah, we carpooling. Dang.
It started when as soon as I was able to sit in the front, she was like, "You 4'9"? All right, you in front."
You 4'9", get in the front. Yeah.
Yeah, she's like, that's how moms are though. They love you, they beat you, but they still love you.
Yeah, of course.
They gotta use you when they gotta use you. It's like, how old are you? I'm 6.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Like, we about to go to the movie. You better tell them you 8.
Yeah.
Like, you're like 5'10". How are you 8 years old? Like, I'm this many.
But it'd be like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just fun though. It's fun. I love my mom. Do you still have a good relationship with
I
her?
do. Like, me and my mom, we have a really great relationship. Like, we're on the phone. If I'm not calling her every day, it's like every other day. So, yeah.
I can't do that. See, I love my mom, but I don't love my mom that much. Maybe I'm still too young for that. Maybe that's why.
It's possible.
Yeah, maybe when I'm older I'll do that,
Yeah.
but not right now. Because right now I still like the days where I just don't hear people's voices.
Oh, okay. So yeah, that's just the thing for you.
Yeah, well, because I'm single. And the only problem I have is Lucy. That's the only problem I have every day. I gotta worry about. Like other than that, like dogs are easy to take care of. Especially Lucy. She don't bark or nothing. She's quiet.
Yeah, she is very quiet.
Yeah, she's chilling. That's why I kind of have her over there. She's like, I'm separated. I'll be quiet.
Yeah.
No, but because I was talking to my cousin. It was an Easter this year, and we're with family. We're the only ones. He's 32, I'm 30, and we're outside and we're just talking. And I noticed. I looked around. I was like, you hear that? He's like, what? Silence. Because when you have kids, that goes away.
All the way. All the way.
Don't get me wrong. I want kids. It's just for me. I don't want them yet.
No, take your time. Please take your time. Yeah, and you want to, like they say, if you wait until you're ready to have kids, then you miss whatever.
Shut the fuck
but
up.
Yeah, right. It's you should know who you are, and you should be in a position where you can take care of them financially. Right? You don't want to struggle with kids.
Yeah,
like that's like because that takes away so much of you being able to just have that one-on-one with your kid,
being there for them.
Yeah, right. Instead of you just breaking your back just to make something happen. So then now some resentment can sit in. It's like you love your child, but then it's like I gotta do this because I have this responsibility.
Yeah. How old were you when you had your kid?
Oh, I was 24.
That's pretty young.
Yeah.
That's relatively. That's
it's young. it's young. Like it's like, you know, at that time, it was like I was still going to school. I had to, you know, go get my degree, and then I'm still, you know, figuring out what my career is gonna be. Like I didn't start teaching until I was 32.
32.
Yeah.
Damn.
Like for real, like in a classroom. Like I've always like done mentors, and I've always done like workshops and things like that where I was in the educational field, but actually got my tie on and my shirt, and, you know, doing lesson plans. Exactly, mister. You know, until, you know, almost 10 years later, and it's like, had I been there already and then understanding finances and, you know, schedules, budgeting, all of those things for me, and then, you know, bringing, you know, children into the web with that versus we're just kind of figuring it all together all at once. You know, I wouldn't do it over again, right? Like if I had an opportunity where I had all the things I thought is what I need to have a different experience, maybe better experience, would I do it all of? No. Like I had the experience, it was what it was. A lot of it was great, some of it not so great, and you know, it is what it is, and you know.
And even if you are financially secure, there's still, as a parent, there's still going to be ups and downs. There's going to be like problems. I mean, you know, my parents, like, we struggled a lot when I was like a kid, especially you know, up until I was 10 years old, and then when I was 8 years old. When I was 8 years old, we moved from La Puente to Diamond Bar, and we were working in Pomona. And then 2008 happened, and there was a recession, and we went back to struggling every month, and it was just like nothing. I would go to work every day. Like my parents, like if I wasn't in school, I was at work. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things. Like so you learn to like just work, and that's one thing that I kind of want, you know, don't want to have to put my kids through. Right. Is like, you know, I don't want them. It's what I told one of my exes one time. Is like, you know, if we ever had kids and they were fucking up, I'd just send them to work for my dad for a summer. they'll act right.
They'll straighten up.
Just 3 months. Just 3 months. They don't work out there in the yard, hot sun. It's child abuse. No, bitch.
It's life. Like if you, this could be what you're doing for the rest of your life, and if you don't like this, then you need to figure out what you can do so you don't have to do this. You know, and I'm not saying that it's something you have to do. There's some individuals that just love, you know, doing that, like being out in the open and doing those types of jobs. And they just, you know, exactly, right? Because we're all artisans in our own way, right? But I had heard somewhere, or maybe I read this, where they were saying that as parents, we work so hard to give our kids all the things that we didn't have that we forget to give them the things that we did have. Ooh,
that's a very powerful thing.
And you're like, and then you were talking about how you were working with your pops, and you know, you go to school and you go to work, like, but that built you, right? Like it's like you're the person you are today because you had those experiences, and you can appreciate life so much more because you have to deal with that. And then if we give our kids a nanny, and you know, they're going to karate and baseball and basketball, doing all these things and all of this stuff, and then as soon as that little drop of struggle happens, then they just fold. You know? And it's like, and us as parents, like, what's going on? Like, why are you not resilient? How come you're not tough? Like, well, they never went through the experiences to build that, right? So we do have to be careful of that, you know, as parents. So
he had to throw his daughter off a cliff a few times.
Exactly.
No, it's good. But what are some things that you were, if you were to tell, like, go back and tell your, now that's been 18 years, right? What was something that you would tell your 24-year self when you were holding your daughter your first time? What is something that you felt like you had known then that you would tell yourself now? You know what I mean? Or,
oh man, that's a tough, because really I would tell myself, don't have this kid. I'm gonna keep it 100%, because at 24 years old, and then, you know, the relationship wasn't the best, so it was like you have that, and then, you know, now you're just, I'm just trying to keep your head above water, and it doesn't always have to be financial, right? It's like you just keep yourself sane because of all these things that are happening, you know, to you, right? And it's like, well, how do I turn the tide so that things can happen for me? Like, what do I have to do? So I'm like, hey man, like, wait, You know, definitely wait to have a kid.
That was the question.
Yeah, I know, but man, I know. I don't know what I can.
You're like, run.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Put her back in the casket.
Yeah.
Put her in the casket.
Yeah. I'm like, you know what? Go figure myself out for 10 years. Come back. I know you're mad at me. I know you hate that I was gone. But look. No.
So now these are reasons why there's a lot of single moms. These men need to go figure themselves out, and they'll be back, baby. Don't worry.
They will be back. You just can't be calling them all the time. Don't put CPS on them, right? Don't not the CPS. Get them on the child supports. Yeah. Like, don't do that.
We'll be back in 10 years.
Yeah, right, exactly. Right, we'll be back in 10. That's our number, right? You just got to be patient. But no.
Bring forcing backstage.
But no, like, to tell my 24-year-old self, I would probably tell going ahead and take a chance on you, because I had so my acting career was just kind of going a little bit, right? It was going in a good direction, and I had to, like, children stop you from, what do they say? Like, they are actually the dictators of your life when you have children. So I would have pushed myself a little bit more to go into that direction than to say, well, I don't think I can do it because I have a kid. Let me go in this direction. So if I would just trusted the process with me more, I think we have to do that, because we're people first, right? Like, human, then I was a man, and then I was a parent. So I was really focused on the parent part, but putting on the back burner the man part, right? So it's like I think I would have been able to take care of myself a little bit more mentally, and then also more financially if I just done that. Not saying no to my child, but like, well, what about you? Like, there are things you have, because if I can't take care of me, I can't take care of anyone.
Yeah. Because it is hard, because you got to take care of your kid versus paying the bills versus getting this audition that you may not even get. Yeah. You know what I mean? You got to spend all this money just getting there, waiting in line for 2 hours, and 2 or 3 hours sometimes, and then just, oh, thank you, bye. Yeah. And then you never hear it back, and then it's a lot, because being an actor is hard.
Oh yeah. Being a comedian, it's hard.
It's hard. Yeah. It's hard. Just being anything like that, performing is hard.
It's hard.
So like, but being a parent is even harder.
Yeah. And I feel like just because I had youth on my side then I could have gotten away with so much more as a youth. And when you're younger, people want to give you a chance. Yeah. They're like, look at this young kid that's really trying to do something. Let's give him a shot. He may not have all the tools that he needs to execute, but, we'll give him a shot, let him do it. But versus me now at 40, I'm like, hey, I'm trying to, like, I don't know if I want to work.
Yeah, there's another 40-year-old guy over there.
Yeah. So it's like I don't know so much, but when you're a kid, they definitely, you have more people that want to support you when you're younger than when you're older. And I feel like when you're older, you have to work extra hard to get it going. Versus when you're younger, it's there, and then you just work towards it. That would be my thing. Just give more time to yourself, and it'll be all right. Yeah.
Wait, were you in your is she still your wife or no? No. Did you guys? How long were you guys together before you guys broke up?
Boy, it wasn't the best relationship at all. So it wasn't great. So.
Which makes being a father even harder.
Yeah, exactly, and that was a lot of it too. I remember how saying I was like staying above water mentally, like
mentally,
emotionally, and emotionally. Yeah, the relationship was it was not a good relationship, unfortunately. But I made sure that I wanted to stay around and stay in my daughter's life. And my thinking was I just need her to know who I am. At an old enough age, like 4 or 5, I thought that would be good enough, or then I could start trying to make some moves to kind of like
leave.
Yeah, move away. Yeah, and try to parent from afar, right? Versus like parent
Well, cohabitation.
Yeah.
I mean, because there's difference. You can still be a good father and get weekends or get every other week.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying just because you're not with the mother. Honestly, I believe it's better for people to get divorced. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if they see that it's not working. Yeah, don't stay in that toxic relationship.
Because that's just worse for the kid.
It's so much worse.
Because it gives them an example of toxic relationships, and then they're gonna fall. Like every person I know that's in a toxic relationship, they come from a toxic household where they say, "Yeah, my parents hate each other."
Yeah.
And whenever I hear a woman say, "My parents hate each other," red flag.
Yeah.
Red flag.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's one thing if my parents live together and they hate each other versus my parents are divorced and they hate each other. It's like at least they know. At least they hate each other. From apart.
But they're still living their own lives, and they still can, find love within themselves, and then maybe eventually they can find a love for each other, a respect for each other, to not be so mean to each other.
Do you feel like with your ex, with your baby mom, do you feel like you have that relationship with her? Is it mutual at least? Sorry.
No apologies.
That's sorry,
it's just we just were not meant for each other,
and that's fine.
And you find that out, and I think the hardest part about it is like when you have to realize that because you want it to work out. Like I don't know too many people who want to hate people.
Yeah,
right? I mean, there's people that that brokenness in them, and they're like they've been hated, so they just push out what was given
hatred,
them. But like just like an average person, like you don't want to like I just want to just hate people. Like, no, so.
Yeah, I never hated someone just to hate them. I hate someone because they did something stupid or something to piss me off. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's one thing to piss me off, but just to like hate people.
Yeah.
I don't wake up as like hatred.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I love the smell of hatred in the morning.
Hate.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Right.
Welcome to the haters ball.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
That was one of my favorite skits. Haterade.
Yeah.
No, but it is what it is. I mean, that's one of my biggest fears, honestly, which is because I've had a few scares in my life. I've had one miscarriage, another abortion, and now that I think back on those two relationships, where the miscarriage and the abortion, it's like we would have grown to like really hate each other, and as would have been a lot of yelling, a lot of fighting. I honestly think, like, especially with the woman that we had the abortion, we had the abortion. I really think she would have like really just stayed with me for the kids, but we would have definitely been. She would have loathed me. She just wouldn't love me, and she would it would have been a sexless, happyless marriage. You know what I mean? Yeah. It just wouldn't have been. We would have just. Yeah. Grown to hate each other. Yeah. And it's one of those things that, because I have, my parents have a lot of brothers and sisters. One has 11, the other one has 6. So I have cousins.
Yeah. Galore.
I have like 3 birthdays every other weekend. But it's like, I have so many cousins who have like baby mama, baby daddy, their kids are getting taken away from them. I have a cousin, his baby mama said that he was on drugs, this and that, and she got him arrested. But he's a great guy. You know what I mean? He doesn't drink. He doesn't do drugs. And she was like saying, "Oh, he's fucked up on coke. He's a fucking alcoholic." And it's just like, bro, like that's not him at all. She's just being spiteful. Yeah. You know what I mean? This is one of the things that I'm fearful for myself. You know what I mean? Yeah. And there's people who go through it and understand bad situations, but like we just have to try and like do like. What advice have you given your daughter to like?
You got to do the work. I just tell her some of the things like definitely you want to focus on you and what you want right now. Like really give yourself the best shot, the best chance at happiness for you, right? Because if you get with people hoping that they'll make you happy, right, you're doing it for all the wrong reasons, right? Like the goal is to find someone you could partner with, right? Not somebody who can repair what's broken, right? Or, I'm so lonely, I just need somebody to, fill that void. Like you should not get with people to fill a void, right? You should get with somebody because there's a respect for them, a fondness, or you're like, hey, I think I can build with this person, right? Because that's what marriage is at the end of the day. It's a business. And not to sound like people are like, oh, a business, you're so like jaded and things like that. No, because if you look at any type of business, a CFO, CEO, like you want to pick the best person that's going to make this thing grow, this enterprise grow. And that's really what you should look for in a mate, right? Like if there's something you can't do, right, then and you see something in a mate that they can do and they have no problem doing it, or they'll make the sacrifice to do it because you can't or won't do it, that's fine. And then again, if you have something that you will do or don't, or will do it, and then they don't or can't do it, and you do that, like it is, it's push and pull. It's not 50-50, right? Yeah. Like, some days it's 20, some days it's, 90, some days, right? Some days it's 0.23, But as long as you have an understanding, like, hey, we're in this together to win it. We got to communicate. Now, I have, my wife now, we're in a great space of working together and making sure that, communicating what it is that we want, communicating what we need, and move forward for try to meet those goals, right? We have these goals, we got to meet them. What do you have to do so this goal can be met? What do I have to do so this goal can be met?
Yes.
So this is light years away from, that relationship.
Yes.
My baby.
Which is good because it's growth.
Yes.
I mean, I one thing that I kind of stress in my own dating life now that I'm dating more frequently right now is like I'm trying to look for a woman that could be a mother. Mm-hmm. That's like, can I?
Good mother, right? Because any woman can be a mother, right?
I want a good, like, this woman. I can see us together taking the kids picnics, us, just hanging out with the kid, like not even like going to Disney, just like doing like random stuff, like going on trips and stuff like that. Like that's the thing of like, am I compatible with this person? But then can I also see a life with this person, like as a mother, and like raising our children together, not just raising my children, but raising our children together. Because I do want one thing when my ex says, because like I told her I want her to be my best friend, and she's like, I don't want you to be my best friend. I just want you to be my boyfriend. I was like, but those aren't mutually exclusive. You know what I mean? It's like we could still be like, not in the sense like your best friend. Like when I wake up in the morning, like I'm happy to hang out with you. I want to do these things with you. You're my best friend. And, maybe she thought of it as a weird connotation, but that's what I'm really looking for, and what I personally want. You know what I mean? And so like being able to have a best friend, someone I can have a relationship with, and hopefully won't kill me. Those are my top three things. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because I've been close to death with a lot of these women.
Oof, man. Well, I think, I was reading somewhere also where they were like, you have to be careful of the mate that you choose, because it's like, it's not you competing with your mate, it's you competing with her childhood trauma.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He said, "Oh, right," and that hit me like, "Whoa!"
Yeah,
and it's so real, because it's like you think you guys are having an issue, and it's like, well, what am I? It's the trauma, right? And similarly, right? Flip the coin. With the men too, like we have our childhood trauma too that they have to compete with. So you have to be ready to have those really difficult conversations and dig deep and like, okay, what was your household like, and like what is your relationship with your sisters, your brothers,
your parents,
like what are those like,
even your past relationships, where like you have to ask those questions, even though you may not want to ask those questions. Don't even, because like some people they'll talk about like, oh, I don't want to know about her past relationship. Like you don't need to know about the good things about a past relationship. Like obviously you don't need to talk about like the intercourse, but you could talk about like, oh, these are what was good, these are what were bad. Like I don't like these things. Like I had one woman, we broke up, and immediately a week later she's like, I'm pregnant. I was like, no, you're not. It's like, I know you're not pregnant, because I know how biology works. Right. So it's like, and I just don't like to be like emotionally manipulated like that. And so that's one thing is like I try to stress is like, just don't lie to me, because I don't need to lie to you. And so that's one thing is like I hate. Because there's different traumas that we all go through. I mean, even in our relationships, one thing I stress is I won't introduce you to my mother for at least a year. Because I don't introduce anyone to my mother. Like I have friends like I've known for years, they've only met my mom once or twice. You know what I mean?
And some of those situations were like on accident, right? Like she just had to come pick me up, and she's in the car. Hey,
that's it. And like I've only had 3 girlfriends meet my mom, but like they were in high school. They were high school girlfriends, and those are the only girlfriends that met my mom, because she would come to like my high school stuff. And so let me hear that. But like ever since then, after like senior year, I dated a few girls, and and my mom's like, why don't you bring them around? I was like, Mom, because you don't want to meet them. Because she doesn't like, because every woman since college, I've only introduced one woman to my mother since college. We were dating for 5 years and living together.
Mm-hmm.
And the only reason she found out I was dating this woman is because she tagged me on Facebook. And she says, "Happy 1 year anniversary, babe."
Oh.
I was like, my mom calls me. She's like, "Who's this girl?"
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" She's like, "It's all over Facebook." I'm like, "What?" I was like, I look at I was like, "I'll talk to you later." And it was even worse. Is my dad? My dad's a bit of an ass, but you know, in the dad way.
Yeah, right.
So he's expressed to me multiple times as a child, like, "You need to marry a Mexican woman. You need to marry a Mexican woman." You know, but very, very, he wants me to marry a Mexican woman. This one was a white woman. So he sees the post, and her mom calls her, and she's like, "Who's Miguel Sanchez?" And my girlfriend had explained to her mom that that's my dad because he writes in bold, "No!"
Wow. Pops did you like that? Wow.
Right?
Wow.
Right?
How did you even approach that with your pops?
I didn't talk to him about it ever.
Okay. You just...
I doubt it with her.
Uh-huh.
If I probably go back and I look, this is like 9 years ago probably. Yeah. So this is like, I could probably look it back up on Facebook.
Uh-huh. You think you should just let that one go, huh?
Yeah. Just not even worry about it.
Wow.
Just like, I had another time. My grandma. I was calling my grandma. We were flying out because I wanted to go to Hawaii. We had to fly back to visit her, and I was telling her that I was bringing my girlfriend over. And I said, "Oh, Grandma, I'm bringing my girlfriend over." There's a pause for like a second. She's like, "You sure?"
You're like, no.
I was like, I guess I'm not anymore.
Right.
I go back. It's like, "Grandma said you can't come." What?
Right. Oh my gosh.
So that's the thing. Is like, I can't. It's hard for me to date because the people in my life, no matter who I date, they will never like them.
Yeah.
And I've already accepted that. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean,
which is good.
Yeah, which is good. But you know, so long as the guy is not a dirtbag, I'm
Right.
pretty sure you'd be fine with it.
As long as he's not a dirtbag. But I mean, it's gonna be tough to, especially with
Girls.
young boys, right? Like
18,
I know
19.
what I was thinking about when I was young, and you very idealistically you want, say for my daughter, very idealistically, I want her to find a mate that's already like driven to what he wants to do right away, right? Like there's no distractions. Let's say, oh, I want to be a lawyer, or I want to be this, or I want to be that, but I'm already taking those appropriate steps to get there.
What if he wants to be a rapper?
It. No. It's like no, because but it's different. Like if he wants to be a rapper and that's what that's his trajectory, and he's doing everything he is supposed to do, but he can't be a gangster rapper. Like he can't be claiming a set, hood, nothing like that, because then that's nothing but.
What about a comedian? Would you let it?
I have no problem with
the profession,
the artists, like right, yeah, but
Okay.
as long as they're doing what they're supposed to be doing in a like. I don't want them flighty like, oh, I'm kind of want to do this, or I'm kind of dabbling in this. Well, okay, while you're kind of doing this, what are you doing for this part of your, because life is still happening while you're kind of wanting to do this. So that's what I would want as a father. Like they already know where they're going, making the appropriate steps, asking the right questions, going to the right programs to get there. Yeah. Right?
But as a father, there's only so much. Especially once they turn 18 and they out the house. It's like,
exactly.
Good luck.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, good luck with that. And that's why I can only, talk to her and tell her how I feel about certain things and what you should be looking out for to take care of you, because before you get in a relationship, it's just you. Yeah. You have to make sure you're taking care of you, because before and after and during, you have to take care of you.
Yes, so no matter what.
You have to focus, and I'm not trying to put this thing like, oh, single independent woman, I can do it all on my own, I don't need you, like, because then that breeds a different type of attitude. And then now you're like missing out on some great opportunities, or somebody who just wants to love you and take care of you. It's like, look, can you just let me love you? Yeah. Like, you don't always have to be so hard and rigid and be like, no, I stand firm that I have to do this because I'm a woman and I roar. It's like, I see you, but I also want to see you being taken care of, and I want to do that for you.
Yes, and there's that whole like, especially this whole new social media. It's like, you know, you got to be slay queen. You got to be like, I need no man. You know, a single. Was it the single independent, no children, not single and sink. It's got a sink.
Single independent,
no children. Single independent, no children. So there's these women in like their 40s and the 50s that they're sinks is what they're called, and they're like, oh, I'm doing this and that, and like I don't need no man, never need no man. I got my own thing. I'm waking up doing this. I mean that's. That's what you want, but not everyone wants that. I mean, you know, especially raising children in the social media age, and you know, especially with this new, you know, OnlyFans and like for all this stuff for people to demigrate themselves. Yeah. How is it being a father trying to like navigate and teach your child to like, you know, be safe on the internet?
Well, we've had those conversations, and like my daughter didn't have social media until summer of 8th grade.
Okay, that's actually kind of late.
Yeah, it was like, and it was so funny because, my daughter's name is LaRue. That's her name.
Oh, nice.
And when she was in pictures in middle school, they would tag her as LaRue has no Insta. So it was like this running gag. So when they would tag it, they would write that. So anytime you look and you would push on the thing, the picture, so that you could see everybody's tags, hers would say that LaRue has no Insta. And it was so hilarious. She was so mad, and she didn't get her I didn't give her a smartphone until about that time, like 8th grade. Okay. She didn't have, because before I bought her a flip phone, and then her friends would tease her about the flip phone, and you know, she was so upset. She was like, why are you doing me that? I was like, no, it's like, you got to understand that there's a lot of things going out that you shouldn't be. But of course, I can't control everything, because friends, they had their phones. Hey, look at this, you know. But
I mean, you remember when you were kids, like someone's like, "Hey, look at my brother's magazine."
Yeah, right. And you're like, no, okay, you know, you know. So it's like, and I got it, but then also there was a moment where I had to sit and think. I'm like, but wait a minute, the technology is going to continually evolve, and then I'm keeping her stagnant. So it's like, so that was one of the reasons why I did get her, like I gave her like a phone and an iPad. It was like, here's it all. Because while they're doing great things in the digital technological era, like you're like still an analog with me, you know, because I grew up during that time with analog. So
when you had the wire cord.
Yeah, exactly, right. I had to stay in the kitchen and talk, right?
You're winding it up. Like winding here. And remember when you get the extra long cord?
Yes.
The 10-foot cord?
And we were like, what? You mean I could go into the living room with the phone?
Oh, that shit was so great. I remember when you got your own personal phone in your bedroom?
Oh. No, so now that never happened, but
of course not.
But there was a time where my mom had got us phone jacks put in our rooms. So what I would do at night is I would take the phone out of the living room and then bring it in my room, hook it up to the jack.
Like, hey girl.
And they're like, oh, I used to do the thing. I was like, okay. I'm gonna turn the ringer off. And then you call back in exactly 30 seconds and let it ring. And then I'm going to pick up the phone. And then we can talk. And you're like, okay. See? I was thinking 3,000.
I remember that. My cousin got in trouble because of that. So I was in 8th grade. He was a freshman in high school. And we were this summer we were working at a parent's shop. So we spent all summer there. And my parents couldn't understand why he was so tired every day. He's so tired. So he leaves. He's there for like a month. He leaves. The phone bill comes.
Ooh.
It's like 400 something. You know what I mean? When you gotta pay per minute and all that. They were looking at it. It was like 2-3 hours. Wow. We're like, my dad's like calling his sister. My aunt, he's like cussing him out, like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You like, you know, it's like, you're gonna come back here, you're gonna work this shit off, like, you know what I mean?
Dang, why did you? Well, he didn't know it was a long distance call. Well,
it was California to Arizona. So back then they had to pay for that.
Yep, I remember that.
Back then, remember you couldn't call before 9 p.m.
Oh yeah, on the cell phone.
The cell
like
phone,
on the plans. Yep, free after 9, and then free before 8 in the morning.
8 in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
I remember
my
all
gosh.
this. I remember all that. I remember minutes to text per
Text
text.
was like 80 cents per text. Giving or receiving text. Oh
I'm like,
my
don't
God.
fucking text me, motherfucker. He's like,
yeah, right.
I can't afford you texting me.
Yeah, I'm like, don't text me K. Like, if I text you a whole thing, don't text me K.
Let's call me 80 cents.
Right, exactly,
80
right.
cents.
For one letter, right. Oh my gosh.
This is a technology. I remember like the first time the Sidekick came out.
Yes.
When the Sidekick came out, that was the first time I saw pornography on a cell phone.
Oh.
So that was that because me and my cousin were talking about it, and he's like, yeah, you can watch it on here. I was like, no, you can't. No, you can't. And he's like, here, check it. You got to pay for that too. Remember, you had to pay. You couldn't remember when you're. I'm not. It's probably after when you graduate high school. But when you would when you would accidentally click the internet button, it's like shit.
Oh yeah. That would happen. Yep. You had an internet button right there. Boop, and then
and it's like, oh no,
minutes. Oh my god!
Now it's all data plans and all that. It's so much better now. It's so much better.
Yeah. They got all the kinks out, but now it's so much easier for them. And like, what? You could just talk all day and have all this even me and my daughter's plan. It's like the everything plan. Like she has so much data. Like I remember I would only get like 1 gigabyte of data, and then after that, then they start charging you like $2 or $3. After each. I'm like, man, forget this.
I would remember I would have to I would set a limit per day, and I'll try to like make sure that I couldn't go over that data limit and shit. So I'd have like automatic shutouts, like no limit left. Yeah. Because it was easy to go over, man. Yeah. It's easy to go over, especially in the early days. Now it's like so great.
Yeah, it's so great.
So great. Like I don't want to go back in time. The main reason, toilet paper.
You didn't want to put a sponge on a stick, like no. Exactly. Yeah, get it right.
I mean, that's not me, man. I was like, who else is using that sponge?
yeah.
This thing is like, technology just gets worse the further. Everyone's like, people like romanticize the past. I'm just like, you know how dirty that shit is.
Yeah.
I mean, every time I think about it, it's like, oh, the water was cleaner, the air was. Bitch, no, it wasn't.
Yeah. What about that game Bobbing for Apples? Like, people used to love doing that game. And now you think about it, you're like, wait a minute. Like, somebody's mouth is open and touching all those apples and not picking it up. And then the next person goes in. Like, oh my God.
There's so many things. I remember in the 90s and 80s, there was the chicken pox lollipop.
Chicken pox lollipop?
You never heard of this? It was like 80s and 90s. So what you would do, you signed up for this thing, and so they would parents would sign up for this mailing list, and they would send lollipops with that had been licked with kids from who had chickenpox. So you'd give the kid the lollipop, they'll lick it, you put it back in the envelope, and they send it to the next person.
That's disgusting. That is so nasty. I never knew that. Oh no!
Now you know.
That's terrible.
That's some things people would do. But the thing is that it reminds me, because like during COVID, what people would do is like if you had COVID, they would isolate people.
Well, but that's like, because me growing up in a black household, that's what we did. Like, my mom or auntie would be like, girl, so and so got the chicken pox. Hold up, let's have a sleepover. And then all the cousins were coming at that sleepover, and then we all get chicken pox. And somebody, I think they were saying like, you can only get it one time. That's not true. I got it 3 times. I got it 3 times. And I remember just sitting, laying in the bed, and got this high fever, and I can't scratch. And, I'm just sitting there. It was like so bad. And I did that twice with my cousins. And like me, my brother, and 3 other cousins. And then it was like me and my brother one time. And then again, like me and my cousin and 2 other. I was just like, that was the worst thing. And I knew it was chicken pox because it was like, each time it was less and less, but then I didn't get it again after that. But it was like,
but you get the it's shingles, right? If you don't get the chicken pox, you can get shingles.
You get the shingles, yeah.
So you might never get the shingles then. Shit.
No, I'll never get it.
I'll never Bitch, I got chicken pox 3 times. Yeah, shingles, what the fuck is that?
Exactly. I could be an astronaut now, right? Because if you don't get the shingles, you can't be an astronaut. Oh, yeah. Damn. So I know. That's
just how archaic that shit was.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember doing that as a kid, the fucking chicken pox parties.
Yeah.
Well, that was interesting, because just think how barbaric. And if we did that like even now.
Yeah.
Like it was like if we had like COVID parties.
Yeah, that so many people will be on us about that. We're getting canceled for that.
That'd be interesting, though. I mean, I kind of would be in favor of it because it's kind of one of those things. It's like, fuck it. I mean, because even now, like the summer surge, no one gives a fuck. No one gives a fuck.
Yeah, not anymore.
Not anymore. No one cares. No one gave a shit about monkeypox. No one gives a fuck about, like, honestly, when it first came out, because I was a kid, it kind of reminded me as a kid, like, kind of about the HIV and the AIDS epidemic in the 80s and 90s. Like, it mainly was affecting the gay community, so, like, it was a big deal, but, like, no one really cared until it hit Magic. When it hit Magic, that's when it was like, oh my god, Magic.
Yeah,
and that's what it was with, like, same thing with COVID. Like, once they started hitting quote unquote someone they know or some celebrity, why the fuck is it? I just thought of it right now. Fuck. The NBA, if you want to get people serious about a disease, you got to infect an NBA player. Yeah. No, I just literally thought about it right now. It was like, fuck, you got it was Magic for AIDS, it was Rudy Gobert for COVID.
Yeah. Yeah.
That shit was, he wasn't even funnier about that is because he was making fun of it, and he put his hands all over the mics and shit. And people were like, reporters were going to sue him. I was like, I got COVID because of Rudy Gobert.
Wow.
So it was crazy, man. COVID was a crazy time. But but Bryan, thank you for coming, man. It was a wonderful time having you.
It was nice.
I want you to once again your GoFundMe.
Yep, my GoFundMe, definitely. I have it on my so Rosstown Academy is my handle for all of my social medias. Rosstown Academy and my link tree. You can go on ahead. Please donate. I'm so close to my goal. Hit me up. And
what's the GoFundMe? What is it called?
My Quest to the Fest.
My Quest to the Fest.
Yes, that's that. And I have a show this Friday in Vegas. I'm driving out to Vegas to do a show. Yep. And then after that, I can't wait to go to the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. Do my thing.
Nice, yes. All right, so it's Fest. My Quest to the Fest. Rosstown Academy for all the socials, and make sure to also check out Chuckle Brands with an S. Chuckle Brands with an S on Instagram. And then it's chucklebrand.com. Chucklebrand.com. Just remember, because that bimbo fucking took that.
Yeah, for sure, man.
But yeah, make sure to chuckle. Take care, y'all.
All right.